Hello and welcome to the first actual vid for A Splash of Colour. And what I thought I'd do with this is there's going to be a mixture of different videos. Some are going to be when I'm actually working on them, stuff that's going to be current, but also show some of my older stuff, and that's what this is. It's one of my older pieces that I did, and I actually repainted it, so I'm going to show both. The first one I did, and it's a Games Workshop Dreadnaught, and I wanted to do something different to what I'd seen around, so I decided that what would be really cool and different is purple. And so that's what I did. The purple incarnation of the Dreadnaught was done a few years ago, so my painting had, by today's standard, it's rough. But there were some things I tried that I liked. I was happy with the missiles, the way I did them. They were just basically a bit of darkest in the close into the housing, and then red and dry brush to give them some sort of roughness. There's basic dry brushing around the overall mech, and the painting itself was one of the first ones I got smooth, and I was happy with the metallics. So it was an interesting thing that I did back then, but later on I thought that I could do a better job, and I was looking around to see what I could find, and I saw him, and I thought, oh, cool. So I resprayed him, and then I redid him in a blue sort of camo. So I initially started with a light blue, and it was very blue when I first put it on. So from there, I started weathering him, and the end result is, overall I'm happy with it. There's a lot on here I actually liked, but there was a few mistakes. From the front, I quite like him. There's a lot of weathering, like a serious amount of weathering. My idea was sort of that these are the ones where the Space Marine has basically gone critical, and they rip them out of what's left of their bodies and throw them into this machine, which was also sort of I believe it's a life support unit, and they fight until they die. So I thought that maybe these Dreadnaughts might be around. If it's one that survives for a bit, it's been around for a while, and so that was sort of my base idea. It was sitting at the back of the whole paint job. So I did a lot of weathering, removing a lot of the paint, and the way to get that effect around the edging there is to do several coats of different colors. You get the base blue first, and then you can, depending how you want to do it, you can go around with a lighter blue, but not over all of it. Like, you can come in a bit, but don't go too far in, and then you start using different browns and metals, and you go over that, and you'll see bits where there's a lighter blue, and then a much lighter blue within the middle is the rust effects. I watered down pigment, so it was very runny, and that's what I did around the drops of the rivets and stuff like that, to have the running water, sort of collected water around the rivets. Overall, I'm really happy with him still, but there is a few things I would do differently if I painted one of these again today. I think the missiles are a little bit too bright. I should have weathered them a little bit more, because although, I mean, this is the thing, this is where balance is funny. Technically, if he's firing off missiles in an engagement, he could be getting rearmed with new missiles, as in quite new ordnance. They would be very bright, and they would be very red, because they haven't kicked around for a long time. But, having said that, although that's actually quite a valid point, it can look too inaccurate in a way, because the rest of the mech is very weathered, but the missiles are really bright, and it can just not look right, even though it can be accurate. So I'd probably weather the missiles a bit more anyway, just to sort of keep balance overall. On the chain gun, there's two things I would do. One, although this fits really good, I didn't quite line up the front center barrel as well as I should have, and there's a gap there which needed to be filled. I didn't do that back then. Secondly, those barrels that are surrounding the Gatling gun, they need to be drilled out. And I didn't do that either. If I did this today, I would definitely drill them out. Doesn't have to be deep or huge, but I would definitely drill them out so there was holes there. Same for the, I think it's another gun that's on the left-hand side under the main breastplate. I'd do something there, drill that a bit. And on the top, where the smoke dispensers are, or grenade launchers, depending on, I think, what setup you've got, I hadn't cleared out all the blue that was originally sprayed, which you can see some of it is shining through there. If I did that again today, I'd make sure that all those sort of areas were done. And the front chest plate, I did a mixture of weathering, and I did put some metals on there, but I think that I would do that a lot more detailed with another color. It might be a blue, but I wouldn't do the same blue. It looks too uniform. There's not enough sort of bounce from it. There's too much of that standard base color blue everywhere. And the other thing I'd do there would be under the chain gun, the ammo belt is also light blue. I would change that color. On the back, I'm actually happier with it overall. You can see where I didn't, what I'm talking about with the chain gun ammo. I did weather it, but I think it needs to be a different color. A lot more paint chipping around the exhausts on his back. I would paint the skull there. I've left the skull the same color as the base. I think I'd definitely do that a different color now. And although I left it because it is part of the overall sort of effect, the panel line on the back, it's where the exhaust was joined together. But I think if I did it now, I would fill that particular line. It doesn't look bad. I don't think it looks bad at all. It's a machine. If this was a standard figure and you had a line like that, that would be very bad because it would seem very unnatural. But on a machine, you can have components that are connected together, and that where there'd be that sort of join line. So that's fine that it's there, but I think I'd fill it. I'd do some more work on the light, which is at the top left, and I would also do some more work on the far left. It's a bit blurry, but you can sort of just see some of the detail on it. It's still the base color. I did weather it, but again, it's still the base color. So I think I'd add just a bit more tonality to this figure. But it's a good figure. They're still available. I think they've redone them by now. They're slightly different. But yeah, if you want a good, interesting figure that gives you a lot of actual landscape to play on, these are a good place to start. They build easy, and there's lots of room and a lot of detail to do all sorts of different things, and there's different weapon options. And so yeah, I think there's a lot of good options there. For sure, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, pick it up. So there's one of my early builds that I did. I think I do a lot better now, and I'm going to be having a crack at a few things. I have another vid coming up soon on another early build, and also some stuff we picked up just to show some things of what's coming to the channel. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and feel free to subscribe, like, or if you love what we do, consider becoming a patron. Happy modeling, guys.